Have you ever heard of a secret that changed the world? I'm talking about a secret hidden in books, studied by candlelight, by a woman who had to pretend to be a man just to share her ideas. This isn't a spy novel. This is the real story of Sophie Germain. In 18th century France, women weren't supposed to be interested in math. It was a man's world, but Sophie, she was obsessed. She devoured books from her father's library, teaching herself the language of numbers while her family slept. Imagine this, a young girl, huddled under her blankets, with only a candle for light, solving problems that would stump the greatest minds of her time. When she was finally ready to share her groundbreaking work, she couldn't sign her own name. She had to become someone else. She chose Monsieur Leblanc. Her work was so brilliant, so revolutionary, that it caught the eye of the legendary Carl Friedrich Gauss, the prince of mathematicians. He was astounded by the genius of this Monsieur Leblanc. When he finally discovered her true identity, he wasn't angry, he was amazed. He wrote to her, praising her courage and her most noble spirit for rising above the prejudices of society. Sophie Germain's theories on numbers and elasticity laid the groundwork for modern architecture, helping us understand how bridges and buildings stand strong. She was a ghost in her own story, but her legacy is written in steel and concrete all around us. Now, let's jump forward 100 years, to a different world, a different struggle. Welcome to the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin. In this world of iron-fisted control and suspicion, a young girl named Olga Ladyzhenskaya was growing up. Her father, a brilliant mathematician himself, was declared an enemy of the state and executed. That single event branded Olga for life. She was the daughter of a traitor. Despite her undeniable talent, the doors to the best universities were slammed in her face. Can you imagine having the key to unlock the secrets of the universe, but being told you're not even allowed to touch the door? But Olga refused to be defined by her father's fate. She fought, she studied with anyone who would teach her. She worked relentlessly, driven by a passion that no political regime could extinguish. And what she achieved was nothing short of miraculous. Olga Ladyzhenskaya revolutionized our understanding of partial differential equations. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but think of it this way. Her work is the secret language behind weather forecasting, airplane design, and even the flow of blood in our veins. It's the mathematics that describes how things move and change. While the state tried to erase her, her mind was building the foundations of modern physics and engineering. She proved that genius cannot be imprisoned by ideology. Her equations outlived the regime that tried to silence her, and today, they help us navigate the world in ways we can't even see. From the political oppression of the Soviet Union, we cross the ocean to mid-20th century America nation, grappling with its own deep-seated prejudice, racial segregation. This is where we meet Dorothy Vaughan. When you think of the space race, you probably picture rooms full of men in white shirts and black ties. But behind the scenes, there was an army of brilliant minds making it all possible, and Dorothy was one of their unsung leaders. She was a mathematician, an African-American woman working at what would become NASA. In the 1940s and 50s, she was what they called a human computer. Her workplace was segregated. She and her black colleagues worked in a separate unit, ate at separate tables, and used separate bathrooms. They were brilliant, but they were treated as second-class citizens. Yet the rockets couldn't fly without their calculations. But Dorothy saw the future coming. She saw the giant room-sized electronic computers arriving at NASA and knew that her team's jobs were at risk. Did she panic? Did she give up? No. Dorothy Vaughan taught herself one of the first and most complex programming languages, Fortran. Then, she taught her entire team of African-American women how to code. She didn't just save their jobs. She turned them into the pioneers of modern computing at NASA. She became one of the agency's first-ever black supervisors, a leader who saw a wall and built a door right through it. Her work, her foresight, and her leadership were instrumental in sending John Glenn into orbit and putting a man on the moon. She wasn't just calculating trajectories. She was changing the trajectory of history for women and people of color in science. 3 women, 3 different centuries. 3 impossible walls. Sophie Germain faced the wall of gender. Olga Ladyzhenskaya faced the wall of political oppression. Dorothy Vaughan faced the wall of racial prejudice. Each of them was told, in one way or another, you don't belong here. This isn't for you. Society tried to lock them out. History tried to write them out, but their brilliance was a force of nature that could not be contained. They didn't just solve equations. They solved the problem of being silenced. They showed us that a truly great mind doesn't care about the boxes society tries to put it in. Their stories are a powerful reminder that talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. And it's our job to change that. These aren't just stories about math. They're stories about human resilience, courage, and the unstoppable power of the human spirit. These women didn't just contribute to science, they reshaped it. They laid the foundations for so much of the technology and understanding we take for granted today. Their legacies aren't just in textbooks. They're in the bridges we cross, the weather we predict, and the stars we reach for. History may have tried to look the other way, but their impact is undeniable. If you believe that these extraordinary stories deserve to be heard, that the quiet heroes of our past should be celebrated, then please help us share their legacy. Hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that history forgot. Thank you for watching, and let's keep uncovering the hidden figures who shaped our world.